Got to talk about the two major wins, obviously, 85 at Royal St George's. And I think for many it was one of the images was being down in that little hollow by 18 in the 72nd hole and didn't quite make it up and rolled back down and you sunk to your knees. Did you at that moment think you had lost the Open?
Well, the actual sink to the knee was really a good old curse at myself, so nobody could lip read me what I was saying. And yeah, it was at that moment, it was like, you know, you've come all this distance, you've had, you know, a couple of birdies and you've got a chance of probably pulling the Open off. Not knowing, to my knowledge, that Lyle and David Graham were losing bogeys at the 16th at the time. If I'd have known that maybe 20 seconds earlier, I would have been a lot more aggressive with the tee shot, with the chip shot, and you know, got the ball up with the top. Because I felt I had to make four, I had to take the sort of dangerous route, and it didn't go off.
Well, of course, it all ended well, and you had the claret jug. And it was quite a special year as well, because 1985 was 125 years after the first ever Open win at Prestwick, and they had a very special award to you, didn't they?
Yes, they said the Prestwick authors have a presentation for you, you know, this is after the Open Trophy, and there's an award you with a belt. So I kind of thought, well, what the hell is this all about? You know, what's this belt all about? Oh God, how am I going to do it, you know? Finally, obviously, the Open Championship was played many, many years ago as a belt. It wasn't the claret jugs we know now. And in, I think it was 1871, there was no Open Championship played because the belt was won the first 3 years by Tom Morris Jr. So they actually gave me the belt. And when I won it in 85 was the anniversary of the belt, so I felt very privileged once I knew the history about it. And to have the belt, because not many of us have that belt. I mean, Nicholas has won, you know, quite a lot of Open Championships, and Tom Watson's won about 5, and I've just won 1, but I have the belt.
Said, when we all play at our best, Sandy wins and I'm second. And that's pretty special. For Sebby to say that must have meant a lot.
Yeah, it's happened really out of the blue. I mean, Sebby doesn't give many things away, as you know, over the years, especially compliments. And for Sebby to say that if all the big 5 played really well, like Faldo, Woodsy, and himself, obviously, he said, I would be the top player. But he would be second.
That's quite special, isn't it? Let me take you back, Sandy, because when I was a boy DJ on Radio Clyde, we used to have our annual outing every year to Clover Golf Club in Mulgary. No, it is. And I got to know a wonderful couple there, George and Kathy Lyle, your aunt and uncle. And it was they who first told me the story about how it was your grandfather's farm, what became Clover Golf Club, wasn't it?
Yeah, many years ago. And I still really don't know to this day why they suddenly, from sort of a pig farm, decided to make a golf course. I think there must be some angel come down and say, you will make a golf course. And you know, it wasn't a Carnoustie type golf course, it's 9 holes with double greens and things, but it's still there to this day, it's still a good test of golf.
You must have been a hard worker, because this was all done by horse and cart and just sheer hard craft, I guess, building the golf course.
Just a little bit before my time, yeah.
So he was Alex, your grandfather, your dad Alex, of course, who was your teacher and taught you the game. He moved south to Hoxton Park, and that's where you were born, weren't you?
About 3 years later I was born in Hoxton, yeah.
And you had an immediate talent for the game. Your dad obviously guided you, but there seemed to be an enormously natural talent there.
Well, I was lucky enough, I was born, you know, with the golf course right in front of me. We had a pro shop, house together, and the 18th green at Hoxton was only about 30 yards away, and the future was there. And I wasn't very good at school as far as other things. You know, just Dad said, well, if you want to see the world out there at the range, you're going to see the world.
What kind of teacher was he, Sandy? Was he a hard taskmaster?
He wasn't really that strict, but he was conniving. He might look out the window of the kitchen and he'd say, oh, range is clear, you know, hint, 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 why aren't you out there hitting balls kind of thing. So he got around his ways of working hard, and I just got the bug, you know, at the early age, you know, 4 or 5 years old. And then as you get older, you play junior events, play against Wisdom quite a few times. Of course, he's only a little, you know, still is that height. And we were like a couple of little gunslingers, you know, just checking each other out. And, you know, always say a good big one always beats a good little one, so I just always managed to have the better of him a little bit over the years, but he's done very well over the years too.
He's done all right, as we did. I remember reading that I think you were 11 years old and you won the medal at Hawkstone Park. 85, playing off 21 for a net 64. What did the members make of that, this 11-year-old winning the medal?
My handicap didn't stay at 21 very long. That came down pretty rapidly, and I won quite a few multi-medals at Hawkstone over a period of quite a few years. I got quite a few spoons with my name on it.
You played in the Open at the age of 16, was it?
16, yeah.
And the days when they used to have 54-hole cut, and you made the 36-hole cut at Lytham?
That's right, at Lytham at the age of 16, and the third round I was going out there with a lot of confidence that I was going to make the cut and win the gold medal for the amateur, best amateur for the round. But I went to a bunker on about the 5th or 6th hole, and came out of the bunker about 6 minutes later. Rather jaggled and kind of as my whole world had disappeared in that bunker. So I made about a 9 or 11 or something at hole, and hence I missed the cut by about 4 shots in there.
So to make the 36-hole cut at 6 times, but then of course we were beginning to take notice of you as this big lad that can obviously play a bit. Did you enjoy that attention?
Definitely you get the bug as far as the attention, and obviously when you're 16 you want to look at the Open Championship and Masters and things, but you have to turn pro, and you don't have a crystal ball at that time and it's going to happen, but you've got to make it happen. You've got to work hard, and you know, over the period of years it just momentum was going pretty strong, and I turned pro at the age of 19, and then very quickly got into the winning circle.
Was European #1, what, 3 times? You won the other America?
European #1 within the second year. We were sort of looking at the manager as sort of like a 5-year plan, and you get used to playing 10 months a year and get used to travel a bit more. Because amateur golf was only over in about maybe 2 or 3 months, and now all of a sudden you're going 10 months, 11 months, and you know, it's a little strange for a while. And I got a nice opening start playing out in South America, and it was my first sort of professional tournament arrived, and quite new to the territory of Buenos Aires, and the room didn't have any air conditioning in it, so I opened the windows to get some fresh air. I've been in an aeroplane for about 15 hours, and got bitten by mosquitoes for about 300 bites all over the place, so it was a rude awakening straight away that travelling can have its downside as well.
You went to Augusta and you won the Masters. And I started, the first Masters I was looking at, it was 89, I missed it by a year. And honestly, the first thing I went to see was that bunker at 18, where you hit the 7-iron. That people still say maybe the greatest shot ever to win a major. Talk us through it. What did you think when you put it in the bunker in the first place?
I'm not going to say what I thought. My one iron, this one in here, was meant to leave it short of the bunker, and obviously I wasn't happy. I was pleased with the contact and the direction of the ball, but I didn't expect for the ball to release that much uphill, probably about 250 yards uphill. So I was left with a thought in my mind thinking, no. I really had to wait till I got to the bunker itself to have a look and see what faced, and I thought possibly it would be a bit grim, maybe playing out to the right with a pitching wedge to 9-iron and try and get into a playoff from there. But when I got to the green, so I got to the bunker, the ball was hitting the green. So I thought, well, it's now or never. 7-iron was the chosen weapon, and as you all see on the video, it all came off pretty nicely. But there was a lot of self-doubt going on in there of hitting the lip of the bunker in front of me and going into the bunker in front. maybe getting 3 grains of sand too much and coming up short, which wasn't an option, and there was where the pin was. So there's a lot of things that float around in there.
Yeah, the most wonderful shot. But even the putt you had left, which people tend not to talk about, that was a very slippery downhill 10-footer or whatever it was.
Well, I've seen you watching it even tonight. It still looks about a 6-foot putt, whereas that's about, I think the experts said it was 18 point something feet long. Long enough. Oh yeah.
The feeling when that went in, and Larry Miser wasn't it, the green jacket around your shoulders. I mean, that's just an indescribable feeling, I would think. Really.
Well, you've lived a whole tense week, struggling away, not really struggling, but just the fear of maybe losing the Masters. You had a good first round and a good second round, and you're right in the thick of it. And you go, to the last round, and you're teeing off at 2:45, as it was in the afternoon. How do you occupy your time at 2:45? You can't go out and hit balls all day long because you'll be absolutely shattered. But you just got to get through it. I mean, there wasn't days of the iPads like you have now, where you can watch YouTube and spend hours and hours watching funny films and things. It was just playing with reading books or whatever it is at the time. But it was quite nerve-wracking. I describe it, a lot of people ask me about it, it's like being in a dentist surgery, waiting, not knowing if it's going to be a painful experience or it's going to be a pleasurable experience, and that's what I can explain it.
It turned out to be very pleasurable. And your dad was there, of course, wasn't he, when you won the Masters and walked around. What was he wearing?
Yes, this was going back a few years when my dad was there, and I was playing a practice round with Lee Trevino, and Lee kind of pointed out this character down the various spot, the British tourist, and he said, yeah, that's my dad. So what was he wearing? Well, he didn't really have a bandana, but he had a handkerchief before knots on because the sun around there was getting a little scorched there, so it helped him out.
No, of course, this is the shot that went out of all the newspapers. But it's a bandana for the Brain Cancer Trust. That's the reason for it, and we wish you well in the fundraising.